you have received communications from ADEC about Expo 2020 school trips. So we highly recommend for schools to actually register and start the booking process to guarantee the time slots and the dates that you want, while you guys and ourselves, await the ADEC approvals. So they're working very closely with us to get those approvals for school trips, but we don't want you to be stuck with all the 8:30 a.m. time slots because you didn't manage to book it in. So we highly recommend you at least get all your bookings in as soon as possible so that you get your preferred dates and time slots for your trips. And hopefully they'll announce something soon.
Thank you. Do all students registered to come on a school trip need to come by school bus, or can some of them make their own way there, for example, come with parents in their own transport? And Sarah, can I hand that question over to you?
Thank you very much, Emma. That's also a very good question. Again, we do mandate that all students come within their school buses. The main reason for this is we've got a very intricate transportation plan specific for school buses. Now, in order for you to get into the expo site without any issues, in order for you to be able to go and park in the school bus parking areas, to drop students off in a dedicated area that is safe from any hazards, from traffic, we do need your students to come as part of the school group in a school bus. Thanks, Emma.
Thank you. And Kavisha, somebody is asking whether tickets can be changed once they've already been booked. For example, somebody has booked some tickets for grade 10, but instead they'd like to bring grade 9. Do they have to cancel and rebook, or is there another way to go about this?
Thank you, Emma. So if your booking is still in reservation mode, then you have the liberty of editing the booking yourself. However, if the booking has been confirmed and tickets have been released, then you can just email us the details, such as your order ID and the journey that you have booked for, and we will make this change from our side.
Great. Another question we've had a few times is regarding complementary tickets and passes for teachers, chaperones, staff members. Will we be providing any complementary tickets for that?
It's a very good question. So all the accompanying adults, so we have 2 to 5 for the kindergartens and up to 4 for all the other age groups. Complementary adults are allowed to join the school groups. All students of determination, their assistant is also free of charge. I did see a question about students. Student tickets are now free of charge as well. So these school trips are technically free of charge for all students and all accompanying adults within the ratios that we have provided, as well as students of determination and their assistants as well.
Thank you. And a few teachers asking for clarification on the PCR and vaccination situation. So asking, will all teachers, chaperones need to show proof of vaccination or a negative PCR test? And what about children? Is there an age range for children that need to show negative test results? So Huda, can I hand that question over to you?
Yes, of course, no problem. So yes, it has been announced that all visitors to the expo site that are 18 years plus are required to show either their vaccine card or a negative PCR within 72 hours. As the school program, we are currently looking into the technicalities of that and what a school will be required to show. But all students under the age of 18 are not required any PCR tests. So it's only students and teachers who are 18 years of age and above to the expo site. And we will communicate with you what is required as soon as we receive more instructions.
Great, thank you. Are there any specific resources that we can bring back to our lessons once students have had their visit to Expo 2020? And that question I will hand over to Huda.
So hi again. Yes, so as I mentioned earlier, there's actually a whole section on our website called Classroom Resources. that has learning resources, digital resources. It has lots of things that you can use in your classroom with your students. If you're doing something very specific, you're also welcome to email us and we can see what we can do to help you. Lots of schools have a lot of expo activities going on this year. It's very exciting, so we're really happy to support, but I'm hoping like we have so much stuff on our website that you should be able to find everything you need.
Great, and a few questions just asking for clarification again on the age range, the age of students that can come on the school visit. So is Expo going to be equipped to welcome kindergartners, and what is the maximum age of school students that can come on the school visit? And I think that's going to be another Huda question.
Okay, so I will just answer the rest of the questions, Emma, if that's what you want. You guys can send some questions for others. It's okay. Anyways, yes, our programming on site is recommended for students in kindergarten to high school. So that would be about 4 years of age all the way to 18 years of age. Under 14 years of age are welcome, but it's not as recommended. It is a lot of walking. So if you feel like your group of students would be capable of doing that, you will be registering them anyways as an FS1. Pre-kindergarten, there's no section for them. So be kindergarten and up, which is usually FS2 in the British system, and you'll be able to book into the system all the way up to high school.
Thank you. A question here about Huda mentioned in the previous workshop that students will not be able to go off to buy their own food, their own lunch, their own snacks. A teacher's wondering if a senior student, phase 4, for example, insists that they leave their group to go off to a cafe. Is it okay if they have the permission of their teacher to go and buy a drink or a snack? And I will hand that one over to Sarah this time.
Thank you, Emma. There's a question for me. So that's, again, a very good question. The recommendation, again, that we have from our side is that all students do bring their own lunch. Of course, if a student insists and the teachers are okay with it, they can go off and buy their own lunch. However, what this could do is this could significantly delay your school group because there will be really long lines at the F&B stalls that we have at Expo. And so just to avoid a school group being delayed on their journey to either enter another pavilion or to move on to their buses, we would highly recommend that school students are bringing their own lunch just so they're not spending 45 to 50 minutes having to look for an F&B vendor with a relatively shorter queue. So our recommendation will be do ask students to bring their own lunch, please.
Okay, can students attend multiple days? So can the same group of students come more than once to visit Expo? Kavisha?
Yes, we would love for students to come multiple times, come visit all 4 of our journeys. We have something very unique with each of our journeys. So definitely most welcome. We're looking forward to welcoming your students. Bring them to our different journeys. The only thing is they need to do these journeys on different dates because it won't be possible for them to do this multiple journeys on the same day. So yes, they can do multiple journeys, but just on different days. So you need to choose different dates if the same group is willing to attend.
Okay, and is it possible to run school journeys on the weekend or is it weekdays only? Kavisha? Oh, sorry, maybe Huda can answer that question.
We can all answer that question. It's okay. Our school trips are actually only Sundays to Thursdays. We do not have any operations for a Saturday. If you do have a special request for a school day, that's a day that is not a school day, you're welcome to email us and we can look into it. But as per our regular journeys and everything, at the moment, they're only available from Sunday to Thursday during the school year. So also the winter holiday is not available. Again, if you do want to bring your school groups during the winter holiday, you can send us an email and we can look into it, but it's not guaranteed from anything.
Thank you, Huda. Another question is, do we need to book the allocated lunch spots that you mentioned, or will this be included as part of our journey? Sarah?
So for the younger students, for kindergarten and cycle 1 or primary school students, we have dedicated seating areas already. So what happens is, as soon as you make the booking, they've already been allocated a slot in that area, and that is something that they can access at a particular point in their journey at the expo site. For the older students, again, we do reserve certain benches within the districts of Expo. These may be scattered around different areas of the Expo, where they may also get to experience a little bit of programming, some entertainment while they're having lunch. So that is done automatically as soon as you make your booking for the Expo.
Thank you, Sarah. And a teacher asking for clarification on the face mask situation, who would like to know, are face masks required for FS1, FS2 and Year 1, as in school they are not required to wear face masks? Sarah, could you answer that question, please?
So for the Expo, the guidelines are that all children ages 6 and above do have to wear a face mask. Anyone under that age do not need to wear a face mask if that's the guidelines of your schools and your education entity. And as long as the teachers are keeping the schools, the students within their bubbles, or they're trying to keep them away from the other members of the public. However, this responsibility would be with the teachers themselves. But kids under the age of 6 do not need to wear the face mask to Expo.
Great. And I think, Sarah, this might be another question for you. Are we going to provide a site plan after the booking is confirmed, showing where things are such as emergency evacuation routes, washrooms, assembly points, and that kind of thing?
So in terms of a site map, we do have something that's currently available on the Expo 2020 website. It's a visitor map that you do have access to, and perhaps we can also link it in and send it later on to you. It is not something that we share upon the confirmation of a booking. Regarding evacuation routes, assembly points, our staff at Expo are very well trained with emergency evacuations, with assembly points, with evacuations if that's ever required. And so they will always be there to support and guide the school groups in the case of an emergency.
Thank you. Kavisha, I think we touched on this earlier slightly, but another teacher is just wanting clarification on their school's expo coordinators. They want to change who they have listed as their expo coordinators, and they'd just like to know, how do they go about doing this?
Thank you, Emma, for your question. So if you want to change your coordinator, just email us at schools@expo2020.ae with all the details, and we will ensure that the new coordinator receives their credentials from our side, and the old coordinator details are cancelled from our side. So we will do that. Just email us the details.
Thank you. And a question about the QR code on the paper to be put in the window of the school bus. Will that QR code guide us towards the correct entrance, or our schools should already be aware of the correct entrance and that QR code is for something different? So what's the purpose of the QR code? Kavisha?
Very nice question. So in terms of the directions to Expo, the QR code will not do that. The QR code is more from an internal perspective. We need, in order to recognize that this is a school bus, as my colleague mentioned before, that we have a huge bus operations plan specifically for school buses coming to the Expo site. So the purpose of that QR code is for the operations, and specifically to identify that this is a school bus. In order to get directions to the Expo, along with the confirmation of your booking, you will receive directions to Expo. Also on our website, there is a little navigation that says plan your visit, and under that there's something called as directions, and it shows you the 4 journeys and where to go in terms of the directions. So it's also available on our website.
Yes, I think Huda wants to add something.
I'm going to add a comment because I see a lot of questions coming in about the QR codes and the buses and how to group them and everything. Someone here has asked, Lavita, you've asked about 2 groups on the same bus with different timings. These are things that we've actually outlined in the coordinator handbook, and we touch upon, we go through them in a lot of detail in our coordinator sessions, because it's very important to understand the rules and restrictions coming into the expo site with your QR code. If you're putting more than 1 group on a bus, they have to be on the same time at the same journey. Otherwise, you may not be allowed on into the expo site. So there's a lot of security protocols with these QR codes and grouping more than 1 group in 1 bus. So if you have any questions about having anything other than 1 group in 1 bus, then please either reach out to us by email, because we have a lot of questions coming in, or you're welcome to attend one of our coordinator sessions, or we can contact you at any time and walk you through what your requirements are as a school, because it does get a little bit complicated, and it makes a lot more sense when we show it all up on slides as opposed to just trying to explain it to you right now in a Q&A panel. So I just wanted to make that note before we go on.
Thank you, Huda. And another question that seems to be popping up quite a lot is about booking capacity. Will there be more slots added? It seems that the 9 to 10:30 slots are almost booked, or is it a case of first come, first serve on the booking slots? Kavisha?
Thank you, Emma, for your question. At the moment, because we're practicing social distancing, and we want to give each group coming into the expo site a very exquisite journey, if I may say that. That's why capacity, although we have huge capacity, we can welcome thousands of students every single day into the expo site, but per time slot, slots are limited. So we recommend that you book as soon as possible. We will try to see a little later if we can increase the slots, but at the moment, the slots, what you see on the booking system, are the slots that have been allocated.
Thank you, Kavisha. The next question is about safety protocols. Is there anything that we can provide schools that they can share with parents when they send out their circulars? Sarah?
Thank you, Emma. That's an excellent question. We're just in the process of finalizing our safety protocols document, and inshallah that should be sent out to all of you very soon.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think we've covered most of the questions now. We're still getting quite a lot of questions about how can we cancel bookings and rebook. I think we've already touched on that, Kavisha, but if you could just clarify one more time, because we're getting a few more comments about that.
So in terms of if your booking is your tickets yet, there is an option on the booking system where you can go and click on edit to edit your booking. However, if the confirmation and you have received tickets for that particular booking, I request you to send us an email again at schools@expo2020.ae with just a few details about the booking that you want to cancel, and somebody from our team will reach out to you and help you cancel that booking and also help you rebook if required. So please do reach out to our team if the booking is already confirmed.
Thank you. Another question we have is about the chaperones accompanying the students on the school trips. So can non-teaching staff act as chaperones and accompany the students on school trips? Sarah, could you answer that one, please?
That is an excellent question. So for the accompanying adults that are coming with the school group, it can be a school staff member, it can be a parent, it can be any person that the school has nominated to be responsible for the school group when they are visiting. So it can be anyone other than a school member as well. However, they will be responsible for ensuring that their group stays together and that they help us, that they manage the group as well.
Thank you. And are students allowed to use their mobiles to take pictures and videos, or is that up to the teachers to decide if they want to allow their students to use their mobile phones? Can I hand that one over to you again, Sarah?
That's a really good one as well. We highly encourage for students to be taking pictures and videos of their experience, and we would love for them to do that as well. But again, there is a lot to see at the expo site, so 100% we want them to take pictures and videos, but also to take in all of the exhibitions that they're going to and have a good time and really enjoy the expo experience.
If a school wants to leave on the earlier side, if they've got a long distance to travel and they want to get back before the end of the school day, do they have the option of skipping the lunch break and leaving a little bit earlier, Sarah?
Okay, lots of questions for me now. I think I've gotten a few more than Huda. Absolutely, they do have the option of skipping the lunch break and leaving earlier. What we request is as soon as they arrive to the expo site, please let them make sure that they are informing their tour guide that they would like to leave a little bit early, and in that case, we can facilitate their visit and help them kind of skip the lunch break and get onto their buses earlier.
And what happens if a school bus arrives late at Expo due to something like traffic or unforeseen circumstances? What should a teacher or school representative do in this situation? And again, Sarah, it's your lucky day. This is for you.
Okay, thanks, Emma. So in case the school bus is running late, we request for the teacher to call into our Expo call center to make sure that they inform us that the school is going to be delayed.